It is so not true that you need to be an incredible animator or one of the best editors in the world to make After Effects style animations, and this is proof of it. With a couple key steps, you and I today are going to make some of the most crazy looking, beautiful animations I've ever seen and made. This first one is called a gravity text effect, and you only need one item into CapCut, which is your background. Check out my ultimate filmmaking pack or my premium motion graphics pack in the description to get some cool backgrounds. Once you have your background imported, let's go to text and add a default text layer. From here, I'm going to drag my default text layer to the beginning of my timeline, and let's retime this to about 10 seconds. On my default text layer, I'm going to select it, and let's change the font to something called Interbold. This really can be whatever font you want. I just like the way Interbold looks. And I know that I want to make my animation say gravity text effect. So let's work on the first word, gravity. I know that in my word, G is the first letter of gravity. I'm going to drag G over to the left here to open up some space for the rest of my letters. Then what I'm going to do is find the final height that I want G to rise to. So I'm just raising it a little bit as you've seen here. From there, I'm going to scroll down on my right and let's add something called a transform keyframe. A keyframe just acts as an anchor so that whenever we are at that point in the timeline, the position and planar rotation match that value. Now I'm going to go to the beginning of my timeline and I'm going to add another transform keyframe. Then I'm going to drag my G all the way down so I can't see it anymore. Make sure that the X position of your first keyframe and your second keyframe match. And as you can see, they don't. So I'm going to copy this value by clicking on it, clicking Command C, and let's go back to the beginning keyframe and paste that new value and then hit enter. I'm then going to move a little ways along in my timeline. Again, timing really isn't that big of a deal right now. And we're going to add another transform keyframe. And just like we did with our first keyframe where our G is now hidden, I'm going to go ahead and copy that Y value and paste it in on my third keyframe. So now what happens when I click play? From the first keyframe to the second keyframe, our G rises, and then once it hits that second keyframe, our G starts to go down again. Now on my first keyframe, I'm going to change the rotation so that the G appears to be a bit angled. We're going to start at -10 on the first keyframe. You can see on the second keyframe that moves to 0. And then on the third keyframe, we're actually going to go to +10. And this is the basis of this effect. But we want to make this super smooth, and you can see that this is actually very, very slow. So what I'm going to go do now is retime my keyframes by just selecting them and dragging them closer together. We can see now when I play it, it's starting to get a bit faster. I'm going to drag it closer some more. From here, we want to create a smooth movement effect. So I'm going to right click on my text layer, say show variable speed animation, and we don't change anything to do with the scale. The only thing we change is the Y-axis and the rotation. So I'm going to click on this Y block. You can see there are our 3 keyframes. I'm going to select my middle keyframe, and let's move our playhead over there, and change this to cubic ease. I'm then going to go to my end keyframe, my third keyframe, and change that to cubic ease as well. You can see it's kind of created this hill effect. A trick to get even a cooler speed ramp and graph is to select on your second keyframe and drag this little blue line all the way over to the left. I'm going to do the same on the right side. Now what happens is we have a much faster animation in and out. From here we can right click again and say hide variable speed animation. I know that I need RAVITY. So what I'm going to do is copy my text layer and go to the beginning of my timeline and just click Command V to paste those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we have all the necessary text layers to finish our word. From here, I'm just going to change all those letters from G to the respective letter. And now it's time to do some repositioning. So we don't want all the letters to be on top of each other. So on the R layer selected, I'm going to move R down. On the A layer, I'm going to move that up. You'll notice something that I did was make sure that I moved all of those layers while being on top of that second keyframe. This is a crucial step. From here, what we're going to do is copy the X value at the second keyframe. So you can see on X, it says -764. Let's go ahead and copy that X value and paste it on the other two keyframes. Once you're done with R, you can go ahead and do all the other letters. Again, let me show you one more time before we speed this up. Select on your middle keyframe, go to that X value, copy that, make sure that you copy the minus, and what we can do is use these arrow keys to paste in the new value for that X. You can now see that on all of our letters, they move up, rotate, and move back down. Now what helps this effect take it to the new level is changing the rotation as well. What I want is my first three to all rotate the same way, my V to stay the same, and my ITY, my last three words, to rotate the other way. So all I need to do is go to ITY, I'm going to select on I, I'm going to go to our first keyframe, and instead of this being -10, I'm going to make this 10. We can leave the second keyframe as 0, and on our third keyframe, I'm going to make this -10. You'll see now that where our G, R, A, V are all rotating left to right, our I is now rotating right to left. I'm going to follow the same steps, changing the values slightly for the others. I would always suggest just leaving this middle rotation keyframe at 0 for all of them. So they all start angled, move to a 0 point of rotation, and then all rotate some more. Let's go ahead and copy all of those layers, right click, and select Create Compound Clip. This is going to just group all of our letters together, and from here, we can change the X value to reposition it to the center, just like that. You've now done most of the work, but we'd still need the words text and effect to pop up. I'm just going to copy our compound clip by holding down Alt or Option on Mac. Now let's go into our second compound clip and just leave the letters that we need. We know that our next word is text, which is 4 letters. So I'm going to delete our G, I'm going to delete our Y, and I'm going to delete our R. And now we can change these letters all to their respective letters to make text, just like that. Let's go back to our main timeline. You can see that text needs to be slightly reframed, just like that. And now we get to play with timing. I want text to show up as gravity comes down, so I can shift text all the way up. And as gravity starts to come down, text starts to pop up. Let's play that in real time. And because the last word is effect and we need some more letters again, I'm going to select my gravity layer, copy that, and let's paste that just after text comes down. We can then go into that compound clip and let's write the word effect. We don't need the Y layer, so I'm going to go ahead and delete the Y. We can go back to our main timeline. Let's go to the position where we can see effect, and we can reposition effect to the center. On your compound clips, go to Video, Basic, and add some motion blur. Personally, I think 100 looks far too high, so let's go ahead and make that 25. We can enable that on all of our layers. And just like that, you've created the gravity text effect. Now let's go ahead and create the negative mask effect. This effect is significantly easier than our other effect. What we're going to need are two things. 2 solid color backgrounds, whatever you want your main background to be, and a plain black background. Let's go ahead and drag those 2 onto our timeline. We can shift the plain black background over to the side for now. You can see that our yellow background is 5 seconds, which is a perfect duration for this animation. I'm going to add a default text layer and change this to whatever word you want this to be. I'm going to leave it as design and change it to interbold. From there, we can go ahead and resize it. I'm going to go ahead and make that black. You can really make this whatever color you want. Duplicate our design layer by holding down Alt or Option and drag that above our first text layer. I'm not exactly liking this yellow background, so I'm going to select that layer, go to my Adjustment tab, and add a bit more warmth into the image. I'm also going to lower the exposure to get a bit more of an orange hue. I think that looks really nice. On my second text layer, I'm going to go back to the Color tab, select the color picker, and select on my background. This is going to make that text the same color as my background. Let's go ahead and drag our text over to the duration of our background, and we can insert this plain black background in between our 2 text layers. On my top text layer, I'm going to select the yellow text and that plain black background and make a compound clip. What we then need to do on our compound clip is go to Video and Mask, and let's add a circle mask. Find the size of the circle that you really like. I think that looks great. I'm going to add a mask setting keyframe near the beginning of our timeline. I'm then going to go to the very first frame of our timeline and add another mask setting keyframe, and using these little corner dots, drag our mask as small as it can go. It should read 1 and 0 on size. Let's go to our second keyframe by clicking the arrow icon and toggle a couple of frames ahead on our timeline. We can then add another mask setting. Let's toggle some more frames and add one more mask setting. You can see between our first and second keyframe, the circle increases in size. We then want to go to our third keyframe and decrease this in size a bit, and then go to our last keyframe and decrease this in size just a little bit. We now have quite a cool bounce effect. Now let's toggle a couple frames ahead and we can change the position of this mask. So I'm going to just stay selected on the mask and drag it to the side just like that. I'm going to put the position of the mask right there. You can see we have the basic premise there, but again we want this to look smooth, so let's right click and say show variable speed animation. On position X, we're going to highlight all of our keyframes, click the graph icon and select cubic ease. We can go ahead and toggle that up, and let's go to position Y. Again, select all your keyframes, go to your graph preset and select cubic ease. We don't change rotation, so we can leave that, but let's go to our size X, highlight all of them and change them to cubic ease. And then lastly, we're going to go to size Y, select them and change them to cubic ease. We now get this really smooth effect. Once you're happy with how your animation looks, go to video, basic, and we're going to add some motion blur. I'm going to select this value to be 25. And that's how to level up your animation game and create some really pro level animations inside of CapCut.